Just want to look at something else quickly here. The case of Kristy Fraser-Kirk settled at the weekend for, David Jones has announced today, $850,000, which includes all legal and other costs and expenses. $850,000 from, which is partly from David Jones and a little bit less from Mark McInnes. Now, Kristy alleged sexual harassment from Mark McInnes. A lot of people saw this as perhaps as a watershed case, really. They both released statements today. Mark McInnes still says the vast majority of the allegations are untrue and the nature of the court proceedings was an abuse of legal process. Kristy Fraser-Kirk says, well, she's glad it's all over and thanks for your support. Eva Cox is on the line from the Women's Electoral Lobby. What do you think about it, Eva?
Well, I think it's another example, unfortunately, even though she did get a settlement of big business being incredibly able to sort of defend itself and make sure that its dirty linen wasn't washed in public.
Do you think that she had an obligation to fight it on? I mean, the original claim was $37 million.
Well, I mean, she was trying for the American-style punitive damages because she said what you had was a culture within the organisation that accepted the fact that this was happening and did nothing about it. But it's not part of the way that we actually do law in Australia, so I think she was pushing a pretty big bag uphill on that one. But I think the point about it was, unless she got support, she couldn't do it, and they'd really started attacking her personally and digging up stuff and trying to point out that she was, that she'd done it and claiming that she'd actually flirted with him, the usual sort of stuff. And I mean, if you're just a person on your own without very many resources, that stuff can be pretty scary.
Oh, we got a lot of emails over the weekend, a lot of reaction from people saying, well, hang on, we were expecting something bigger out of this. We're expecting a watershed. Do you think that expectation was created?
I think it was, and I think it just shows that, when the powers of the big institutions get together, it's very hard for individuals to fight them, and I think she tried and obviously got scared off in the end and accepted a much smaller settlement than she was doing it, which wasn't punitive, which basically protected David Jones and his reputation, because none of the stuff that they were threatening to come out in public would, including the fact that he apparently had, or intimations that he'd actually had other incidents both there and in other places. I mean, all of that now is gone. And, she ends up with some money after she's paid off her legal costs, and David Jones manages to pretend that it really didn't happen at all.
Thank you for speaking to us. Eva Cox, Women's Electoral Lobby.